That's exactly what my field trips always
Straight up.
were. Just straight up
Oh
child labor.
man.
I mean, I grew up in the country. It's
Yeah.
like that's what they expected anyways.
But I have no complaints though.
I don't
Do you have
either.
any complaints?
No, I mean I learned how to work hard at a young age, that's for sure. My dad was like he's like, "Well, I mean, you've been sleeping in, so I'm going to get you a job at the neighbor's dairy farm and you can pull buckets of grain to the dairy to the cows and you'll pull the bales of hay out for them to eat. Obviously, you can't walk through the 13 electric fences, but you can't walk on the highway, so you're just going to have to duck and army crawl under all the electric fences to the cows." I was 6. Like,
I realized today, tell the audience, I realized today that my podcast is also a good way to see an old friend. It doesn't
absolutely.
always have to be for a specific reason.
As it always happens, life tends to get crazy and busy,
Yeah,
and good friends, we just pick up right where we
right where
left
we left
off.
off. Yeah,
Doesn't matter how much time we're away.
we used to be able to hang out a little more, but I think it's would you say as you grow through life, you develop more responsibilities and I don't know things to do as an adult, so it takes away from your time, or you think it's our mental state that makes us believe they don't want to have enough free time?
Um, well, I would say that the American dream is really just working 3 jobs. So, I
Yeah,
got my normal job
yeah,
at Terminex and then doing national account sales. And then on any free time I have, it's either with my family or it's remodeling homes. Basically working, burning the candle at both ends pretty much all the time. So
yeah.
I work nonstop. I don't have any other gear, so it's all out for me all the time.
You've always been like that, man. I remember ever since I met you, you've always been like that. It's you just go in a whole separate gear.
Yep, and if I'm not doing a side gig, at night, like with a house remodel,
Yeah,
then I'm spending time in the gym, spending time, with my son. There's just a lot to do, but we really need to make sure we take time for ourselves and take time with our friends as well.
true, huh? It's very important.
Yep,
So I mean, dude, being having a family, which means being a husband and a father, right? That's like a full time job too.
that is a full time job. So in between coming home from, let's say, doing remodel right now, completely destroyed physically and, exhausted, I'll come back and, I'm the one that has to take care of math and science for Jonathan. So, he's doing math, he's got science. I go right into it. Sometimes just still beat up from, construction that night and, exhausted, but I go right into, helping him with his homework.
What drives you, bro? Sometimes I ask myself, what drives me, or what drives a man, a good man, successful man? Like that's all. I know your schedule
Yeah.
a little better than the audience, and obviously we've been friends for years. I know what kind of shit you done. I'm very impressed, and I'm very how do I say that? Impressed. And I also have a lot of respect for you, man, because you've done some impossible shit,
Well,
in my opinion.
thank you. I think that's what motivates me the most is doing things that people deem impossible or doing things that, push the limits. So I've found, I really believe that there's some lessons that I learned early on that it, you can only learn from what I went through. Like losing everything in, 2008, you know, going from making a lot of money to zero when everything crashed, having my life savings stolen in a hedge fund scam, like the Bernie Madoff one, then getting in a near fatal car wreck, like soon after because my mind was in the gutter. from losing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so you hit a point where, you know, then going bankrupt soon after, selling all my possessions, on Craigslist or whatever, eBay for pennies on the dollar, and going through all that, you hit a point where you just decide to move forward. It's either going to kill you or you're going to just move forward. And when you decide to move forward and you come out of it, it's very motivating there to be able to come out of it. And then you start to build on that, and you start to just, you you don't care if you work nonstop, because you're making things happen. And I've learned to enjoy parts of work, like, taking a house that's a complete disaster, like hoarder nightmare, people squatting in it, and, abandoned cars, stuff
Needles,
everywhere,
tires, dead
and taking
rats.
that and single handedly by myself, gutting it to the studs, getting all the trash out of there, cleaning up the neighborhood, and building things to me is just my passion. I love to build stuff. So, you know, it's the most motivating thing in the world to be able to work until, your body's burger for the day, which is gratifying in itself. Like, you work out hard until you're just spent, and that's gratifying. But then to work like that and, you know, feel that you've accomplished so much, and then see it, you see the house, you see the transformation. It's just the greatest thing in the world. I love it. It's so I don't care about the hard work. I love seeing the final product. And I've always been good at spatialization. Like, I can see a house completely destroyed and know exactly what it's going to look like done. Like,
In your head.
in my head, I can see the rooms already in my head. So I've always been good at math. I've always been good at spatial visualization.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the most motivating thing in the world. What motivates me, what pushes me, it's my, seeing my son grow up, seeing my daughter do new things, and just pushing it, just I love to build stuff. I love it so much that, and seeing like what I accomplished the first time, then I had to do another one. You saw it,
Yeah.
like,
And then you're on the
immediately.
third one right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you
Exactly.
what. I'll tell you what, man. First thing I want to say to the public, if you guys are watching, I'm living proof that this guy has done all of that by himself. He's a one-man crew, literally
Well, thank you.
everything, and it's freaking awesome.
I didn't just wake up really good at electric work, plumbing, siding, concrete, roofing, all of that. I learned from some really amazing people that really know what they're doing, and learn how to do it right, learn how to do it professionally. And every time that I do a project, I get better at it. And the first couple, you mess some stuff up. You solder 300 copper solder joints, and you turn the water back on, you got 7 leaks. And that's, then now I solder 300 solder joints, I turn the water back on, it's perfect. You get good at it. You just know what you're doing, make it look, I love making it look perfect too. Behind the walls, I like making things look great, just so the guts look great before you cover it all up with drywall. So
I would definitely live at a house you built because I know it was built with love and care to the higher standards.
thank you.
I
Yeah.
do, I'm pretty impressed with your visual. What's the word you used earlier?
I call it like visualization or
Visualization,
spatial visualization.
because your houses come out looking beautiful, man,
Well, thank
inside
you.
and out.
I have a neighbor at those houses that I did, that he's very technical,
Yeah.
and he actually he works, he does top secret stuff for Lawrence Livermore. So he's an extremely intelligent human being. He does design work on the computer, and he never could understand how I don't have any blueprints or write stuff down. Like, I know exactly where everything is in my head. Like, he couldn't understand it. Like, even the kitchen cabinets, I order the kitchen cabinets,
Yeah.
just on my. I'll sketch it. I'll sketch it on like a notebook paper. That's it, and it all comes out perfect.
But you sketch the design.
Yeah, I sketched the design, but he's like the kind that'll like make stuff on AutoCAD first.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like overkill. You know.
Hey man, listen, it's hard. It's hard to the amount of detail that goes into it. I mean, listen, just I'm having problems sometimes being able to manifest shit in my head because I'm having problems going over all the details to really see it. You're spatially designing and visualizing an entire house, every room, every joint, every drawer door. I'm impressed. I'm
Well,
impressed.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, man. What's the end goal?
The
I
end
think
goal.
we talked about that one time. Remember when we were in Maui,
Yeah,
smoking a cigar next to humongous turtles,
big sea turtles.
big sea turtles.
That's why that's my end goal. I'm gonna be moving there. It's for sure. I'm gonna retire there.
Yeah,
I'd love to get a big sailboat and sail there, and end up with a house there, but
yeah.
sail there as well, and then it not hold me down. But I mean that's the end retirement goal.
Dude,
So,
I would love to come visit you.
but I'm definitely not going to wait until I'm 65 to retire. So that's why I'm pushing it hard now. I still think I'm doing like the homes by yourself type stuff. I'm 41 and it definitely beats you up a little bit, but I've got a lot better at managing it, and now I go at a pace where my body feels great. I don't break down. I don't get, I've pushed it. The first house I did, I pushed it so much I felt crippled when I was done.
Yeah, I've seen you. I saw you before and I saw you after. It was like the opposite transformation. The house before and after.
I look like
It was it was
like a man that went to war.
Yeah, you keep. Yes. When you came back, I was like, bro, what happened to you? Then I went to Hawaii to see the house, and I was like, oh, okay, this beautiful masterpiece is what sucked the life out of you, bro.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It was also just numerous situations there with the neighbors, which was the second house I did. So now there's none of those situations with people squatting in a house and trying to steal your tools
Man,
and keep you up all night. And
I think it's fair to talk about that issue in Maui.
Oh,
I saw it when I went there. I've been there a few times already. I love going to Maui. I didn't go this year because we went to Bali and stuff.
yeah, there's a huge issue
Dude,
with that. I think it's
so many
in
of them.
pretty much all Democratic run states. California.
Maui is a blue state, straight blue state.
Oh, it's Hawaii in general is all just blue across the board.
How are they able to conquer Hawaiian natives'
They
mind?
It's
turn
crazy to
them all
me
blue?
because for decades they promised them so much, and
Yeah.
all they do is keep taking it away from them.
Because
So
they cater differently to every category.
Oh,
every
100%.
group of people.
they do nothing for the native Hawaiians.
They do
It's
fucking
the
nothing,
most
man.
heartbreaking thing in the world because they're a great people
Yeah.
and they deserve much better. So they keep voting in just people that promise them stuff, but they keep taking it. They keep taking more and more and more. It's like now none of them can afford to be there. I mean obviously some of them, but it's a overgeneralization. But it's definitely a very big problem for the vast majority.
So what are the natives doing about that? I know I've
Nothing.
had a
They're-
few situations.
They're
where-
voting blue, which is literally causing them more problems.
That makes no sense, but
It makes
knowing
zero sense.
Democrats, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean you can't. They've been brainwashed enough that they just keep doing it. It's mind-boggling to me. It's just like here, I mean, if you're not gonna prosecute theft, like California, you're not gonna prosecute theft. What do you think is gonna happen?
People are gonna steal.
They're just steal nonstop.
Always.
And now there's like, I mean, look at Oakland. There's like armed robberies, armed
Oakland.
car
You don't have to
robberies.
look- you
Like
don't have to
people are
look far.
stealing their cars at gunpoint and they don't get prosecuted. They're not getting prosecuted for grand theft auto. It's insane. It's like look at San Francisco.
Oh, it's
The
dumb.
same day that at gunpoint someone stole a car and drove it off of like an embankment and crashed it into some other car, could have killed a bunch of people. They let the same day the prosecutor let them off, they started a investigation into the Twitter, now X, sign that might be causing safety concerns. The X sign is causing safety problems because it's too bright.
What?
Yeah, it's
What
just like
the fuck does X have to do
because
with this?
because Elon Musk is all about freedom of speech, and he's just upending their like crazy narrative, so they're just going after him. But they let people that at gunpoint steal cars and crash them. They let them off with nothing. It's the most mind-boggling thing in the
I
world.
mean, I'm surprised that I'm not surprised, and I'm not surprised. To
You're
see
not
this type
surprised
of
either.
shit, but that made no. I have
I
not
mean, you
heard.
see it daily.
It's ridiculous, man. I mean, it's pretty dumb. You know what? I don't understand. Okay, both me and you are rational thinkers, right? Both me and you are educated enough. We've read history. We have common sense. So sometimes when somebody comes into play, let's say a politician, right, and starts doing certain things and creating reforms, right, you start to obviously see the side effects of them. Yet you can also think about the other side. Maybe he is a visionary. Maybe there's something because a lot of times a lot of visionary people who change history and change the course of the world, they were first misunderstood. Steve Jobs is one of them,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
So, and I've given that a shot. I was like, okay, let's just think about it. And I've thought about it and I thought about it and I could not see one good reason for all these stupid criminal justice reforms that are being created right now.
Nothing.
I don't see
They just
nothing
want
good.
they want chaos. That's it. They love that things fall apart. They want it to fall apart. There's no other explanation.
But who's going to benefit? How will they benefit if it completely falls apart? Let me ask you that question.
I have no idea. It's mind-boggling to me. But they're obviously anti-America.
Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. All
They
right.
they are going towards something completely different, which I think is going to be 100% control of the masses by a few. That's
Yeah,
their goal.
I think so too. I think that's what the new
I mean,
shift.
if you look at the new generation, they have no logical thought
Oh, they're
whatsoever. There's
brainwashed.
zero
They're
logical thought.
brainwashed.
That's why it's these Marxists and Democrats they they went after the school system first.
Yeah,
Like,
that they
good
did
luck
really
seeing
good.
any conservative that's on a school board anywhere around here. There's none because they will not allow them in there and not allow their views. They are brainwashing kids from the start, and that's just creating just chaos. It's creating. I mean, I read a study that like 50% of the population doesn't have an inner monologue.
You
Like
serious?
they don't talk to themselves in their head. Like
What occupies that time then?
that they're no, I'm saying that 50% of the population is mentally retarded. Like like
Wow.
like they don't even have like conversations in their head and calculating things in their head, logical thoughts in their head. Like they have no inner monologue.
That is
That
scary.
yeah,
That
it's
is
super
scary.
scary.
50% of the
Fifty
population.
percent, up to fifty
You gotta
percent
find
said.
that. You gotta find that article. Send it to me. I'm sorry, bro. I know you're a credible source, but I have a hard time. I
It
refuse to
said
believe that right
30 to
now.
50% of people. So it's like 50% of people, 30 to 50% of people
Yeah.
don't have an inner monologue. That means that there's nothing in there. Like there's not a lot in their brain. They're like brainwashed so bad.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
You know what I'm reading right now? I'm reading George Oswell's 1984. Have you read that book?
I haven't. That sounds good.
That book is exactly what we're talking about. It's this, 1984, the year 1984 in London, in an alternate, you know, parallel universe, how things could have been there. And basically, it's total control of the masses by the Big Brother, and the slogan is "War is peace." Um, something something, and ignorance is new power, something like that. And it talks about exactly how the entire population is brainwashed. And I love the part how he touches on the fact that children are now, because there's this thing called thought police, right?
Yeah.
I'm only a few pages in. Thought police, they control your thoughts.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there's like an industry of love or whatever, and they control your thoughts. And you know who they use as spies? Children.
Yeah.
Children. From the very beginning, they use them as spies, and children rat on their parents or whoever. And actually, you know who did that? Hitler, Stalin, Mao.
Yep.
What do they have in common? The regime, right?
Yeah.
Political structure. And all they're doing right now is that they took the page out of those books, right, in a chronological historical line, and like, this worked multiple times. We're gonna do it here too. As a matter of fact, it was KGB that created this the system to destroy.
Yeah, to
United States
destroy
of America.
America from the inside.
Yes,
And
then
it said it would take like 2 generations or a
Exactly.
generation and a half. It'd be like
Exactly.
20 years it'd take to destroy
Exactly.
it from the inside by
you gotta
brainwashing people.
flip,
It's
completely
exactly what's
flip
happened.
one generation fully.
Yeah.
It's scary. You could laugh about this maybe 20 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. It's
Yeah,
scary now.
But now it's shit's hitting the fan. I also believe that every civilization has, four steps. It's that, strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create bad times. Bad times create strong men.
I heard
And
that.
then back again.
Hard Times Create Strong Men by late Stephen Arnio, may he rest in peace. And what you said is exactly what we're going through right now.
Yeah. It's weak men are creating hard
Creating
times.
hard times. And when the hard times will come,
It's not just weak men now, though. It's a weak people in society
Yeah.
are allowing criminals in the political system. They're creating hard
Yeah.
times.
what bothers me the most out of all that, okay, I know me and you are both capable of violence. Doesn't mean
Yeah, of course.
we're violent people. We're capable of violence, right? You're a good, kind-hearted, masculine man, but I know you're capable of extreme violence. You just have it under control.
100%.
We can possibly give justification to the evil in this world, right? Okay, people like me and you, we can take on the evil of this world if needed to be.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem is this: when you have all these weak men, and you have less and less strong masculine men, the bad guys will still be there. You just have less and less men who can defend the society against them. That's the problem.
Yep. It's not good right now. That's why when we're getting close to a war, like a World War III, shit's hitting the fan when the U.S. military goes from talking about transgenders are welcome into the military and all their ads are Pride Month type
that
stuff.
shit?
That to now it's all just like now all the ads are just like straight white dudes. They're trying to get just people in there because they're going to go to war and they know that everybody else that's not going to protect
In
them,
one
they're all
year.
going to go die in
You want
war.
some?
Sure.
It's funny how I think the army had last year, the army had this beautiful, colorful cartoon of a promo ad.
Oh yeah,
You
all
ever
their
seen that
promo
one?
ads now
With
are
the-
the
with-
opposite.
with the female-
it's all people driving
Right?
around in helicopters
Yeah,
and shooting
with the
stuff.
female that had two mothers
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. In 1 year.
Yeah.
Because the statistics are there. Have you looked into our statistics, military, the hiring and
It's a problem
recruitment?
right now that they can't get people in there that'll actually go protect them. So now they're begging people that they got rid of for not taking the vaccine to come back.
You serious?
That's
in the military
all right now, and all
Wow.
of them are like, okay, we're just gonna start a lawsuit now.
against
You
who?
X'd us out.
Yeah.
If you didn't take the vaccine in the military, they got rid of you.
Yeah, I
you
remember
got
that.
discharged.
I remember that.
So now Biden's begging them all to come back.
Dude, there's only
Begging them.
I was checking the numbers.
It's crazy to me.
What you're saying right now is true. I
Yeah.
believe you. I 100% believe you.
Yeah.
Those statistics you're talking about, because I recently read that only 9% of population mostly male population, are eager and patriotic to join the military and protect this country. 9%.
Yeah.
9 fucking percent, dude.
Yeah, it's not great.
1/10 of our population, male population. That's sad.
Yeah.
Who's gonna fight if shit was to hit the fan?
Yeah. Well, we better have really good technology, which we do.
Which we
That's
do.
the only thing. That's the only thing that's helping us.
Yeah.
Or you got people like, my cousin that's what 20, 21 years now, or 20 years in the military. So, long-term people that have been there since before the chaos.
We need people like that.
Yeah.
We need people like that who's seen chaos, who's been in chaos, and who can, survive in chaos.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I don't care how you dissect this. At the end of the day, you need men.
Oh, 100%.
Masculine men. When there's no other scenario. Anytime shit hits the fan, at any level, street fight, some kind of incident, critical event, mass shooter, war, right? It's men. Men are disposable for that reason. I'm sorry to say this, but we're disposable.
We're not gonna use what Greta Thunberg was suggesting, that we use vegan hand grenades and vegan rockets.
She suggested that?
Yeah, that's
You
serious.
gotta be kidding me.
No, it's a dead serious. Like, she was talking about, like, the rockets being shot in Israel should be like biodegradable.
Wait,
I'm
is
like,
she retarded?
Yeah, 100%.
How is she allowed to speak at those events and
She 100% is like an autistic kid that got attention from what she's saying, so she just ran with it.
Why are we allowing somebody like that to have influence on world decisions,
She's
on
not,
global decisions?
zero.
I'm talking about relevance. Like, why
Yeah.
is that person given relevance?
They should not have any relevance. She is irrelevant. Nothing she says is. It's all the climate change people. They just hyped her up, and just they needed a mascot. She was it.
Oh, don't get me started about the climate change.
Oh, it just. I mean,
Don't get me started on the climate
the craziest
change, bro.
thing is that carbon dioxide is 0.04% of the atmosphere, right? And the man-made portion of that is 0.11% of 0.4%, 0.04%. So it's the idea that in the last 10,000 years, we are 1 degree more than the coldest it's been in the last 10,000 years. And in the last 10,000 years, it was 4 degrees warmer before humans ever emitted carbon. So
You're making too much
it
sense
is
right now.
cyclical, and it is just the most insane thing that people are buying into this shit,
Yeah.
because it is 100% just for control.
Mm-hmm. Fear.
They want to control the masses. The few want to control the masses, and they want to impose taxes on you. They want to control you into 15-minute cities. They want to, like China, basically.
You mentioned that 15-minute city,
you
my
jaywalk
friend.
in China, and it automatically deducts money out of
Yes.
your account.
Let's talk about that
Yeah,
one.
it's coming.
It exists.
It exists in China. Facial recognition, social credit scores, you name it. Like, you say something bad about the government, and I can't buy food.
Hey, thought police.
It's 100%. That shit is coming.
Parallel
to
universe,
America.
right? 1984.
Yeah, but it's not parallel here. It's
I
in
know,
our
I know.
universe
Dude.
right now. It's been in China for a decade, and it's already being implemented here in numerous places.
All right, listen. 15-minute city, Maui Island.
Mm-hmm.
Your
100%.
thoughts.
100%.
I'll tell you those two things.
Yeah,
I want to hear your
100%.
thoughts. Go.
100% that all these people have these conspiracy theories, like some fucking beam came down and started the fires in Maui. No, it was just straight up on purpose by the government.
Good old arson.
There was 90-mile-an-hour winds from hurricane passing by, and they're supposed to shut the power lines down after like 40 miles an hour. They didn't, and like there was 7 different fires that started on Maui from down power lines, all in that same time frame. And the wind blew all that fire that, okay, like if you're a resident there, you have to do brush clearance, right, on your
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
But the 10,000 acres of county land across from Lahaina that the power line started the fire. Guess how much the county did their brush clearance? Zero for decades.
For
So
decades.
so imagine they start the fire, it blows across towards Lahaina. The water company doesn't. They shut the water pressure off, so none of the fire hydrants work. The water guy said it. It was in a press conference right after. He was like, "We worship water, so we didn't want to use it." Like, okay, you didn't want to save the 2,000 homes that burnt down. That was just the most brain dead stuff. It was on purpose, if you ask me, because 5 different agencies failure. The police, which the guy in charge was the same one for the Vegas mass shooting that transferred to Maui, and
Same
now
chief, you mean?
same chief that came out on the news, same one for the mass shooting in Vegas at Mandalay Bay. You remember that?
Yeah.
Same guy. The police barricaded both sides of Front Street. People were trying to escape Front Street, and they were telling them to go back to the other side of Front Street. It was barricaded there too. So they barricaded people onto Front Street, which is why all those cars were burnt to the ground. People couldn't. The only people that escaped were the ones that were driving through stuff and around the police without, like, the police trying to stop them. They just drove around to leave. So the police barricaded people onto Front Street, 100% from both sides.
Dude, that's fucking criminal.
It's 100% criminal. The best alarm, like the best siren system in the world. The guy comes out and says, "I didn't sound the alarm because it's a tsunami alarm, not for wildfires." Look at the website. Website says tsunami, wildfires, or other natural disasters. Literally, number 2 was for wildfires. People would know if there's smoke everywhere and fire. If the siren went off, they would know it's not a tsunami. They would not be running up, into the fire. 100%. People died in their homes because they didn't know there was a fire coming. And the fire was blowing fast enough that by the time someone sees it, the fire, it's behind their house too. They're trapped in their home, just in an oven. I mean, there's tons of people just trapped in their home. And, human bone burns to ash at 1,500 degrees. That fire is probably 3,000. So that's why they wouldn't let people in there for so long, because they had to sift through ash because they can't tell if it's a human body or not. So they have cadaver dogs, but guess how many people are probably, they claim 100 people died. I guarantee it's triple that will never be known, because there was a whole bunch of, people there that were undocumented, that are probably gone, that will never be, they're never going to be, no one's ever going to remember them, or no one's ever going to account for them. They're just gone. People, animals, dogs, just everything's ash. That's why they wouldn't let people back there. They claimed, people were getting mad because they wouldn't tell them that, but that's why. That fire was hot enough to, it's not like there was body parts laying around. It was just a pile of ash.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
I almost wish I didn't hear that part. That makes me angry.
Yeah, of course. You can't tell if it's a burnt log or a leg. I mean, that's firsthand from people that I know there.
Yeah, and you live there.
Yeah.
You know that. I mean,
That's
I've
firsthand
been
from firemen, knowing the people that were there. I'm also friends with Native Hawaiians that were allowed in there because they were giving aid to the people. That's immediately any road on the way to Lahaina, it was blocked off by 30 Humvees. So you couldn't go over there. I was there during the fire, days after the fire.
Like National Guard and stuff?
National Guard, everything. They blocked the road that there's only one road in and out of Lahaina.
Yeah.
You can't take the back road. You could pedal around the very back of the island near the blowhole on a pedal bike, but people try to drive around there in a car and they end up off the cliff. So
Hmm.
it's just a bad deal all around, dude.
Why? What? Okay.
I mean, the fact that the like 3 months before they had a summit for 15-minute cities there, where the governor basically said, like, Maui is going to be there's going to be a 15-minute city here soon, and Governor Green, just a complete criminal, he went out soon after claiming that for aid we're gonna see what we can do about the government buying everybody's land here, because there's like 7 generation Hawaiians. Like, there's Hawaiians that have had land there for 7 generations in Lahaina. That's where their home was built. A lot of those people didn't have homeowners insurance. They built the house, generations and generations ago. So, I mean, if you ask me, that's not too smart. If you have a house, you should have homeowners insurance, even if you don't have a mortgage for 100 years, you know. But there's bad problems there. They're trying to. There's also, speculation that the FEMA contract basically says that if they deem that your land is like you sign up for FEMA for aid, but if they deem the land is condemnable, then
Condemnable.
like there's toxins in the ground and stuff. It's going to take too much to clean
Come
up.
on.
They can annex your land, like they can take it.
What the hell?
So that's, I guarantee, Lahaina is going to be a 15-minute city. You watch. I don't think any beam came out. Blue beam. That people, all these speculations, like things. The government burnt it. They had HARP create higher winds, whatever, because the hurricane was 300 miles off the coast. It shouldn't have been 90 miles of winds. But there's a lot of just conspiracy theories that I don't believe, but I do believe the government wanted it to happen, because 5 different agencies failed horribly all at the same time, like criminally failed at their jobs, which isn't unheard of in Maui, because their entire infrastructure and everybody, like, there's like new people in office and with the public works that are just indicted constantly for stealing money instead of doing anything with it for the community. Just constantly. It's just corrupt as hell. Their infrastructure's horrible. They never learn how to like engineer anything. They're the worst.
But the tourism is going well.
Yeah, of course. That's all they care about.
Oh man, that's dark. You think it's enemies foreign or domestic?
I think our biggest enemies right now are here in power.
Yeah, this administration, you mean?
Yeah, 100%.
This administration was bought
I mean,
and paid for, my friend.
10 million illegal immigrants have gone over the open border
Mm-hmm.
since he was elected. And like every week and a half or every 2 weeks, they catch multiple terrorists. There's been like 180 terrorists like on the terrorist watch list that have tried to cross, and they've caught that many. So there's probably 15 times that have gone through here and are in American cities. And then they've like every month they get they find a shipment of fentanyl that's enough to kill every human being in the United States. That's insane to me. Like, who's to say they just don't start dumping it in the water? They kill everybody in the United States.
I was reading up about it. If let's say in a hypothetical scenario where the government, right, decides to, in a parallel universe,
Yeah.
right, the government decides to create some kind of distraction factor or a case of national emergency,
Yeah.
right, national threat type of situation where they would have to create martial law and have unlimited and total control.
Yeah, of course. Well,
And
So keep
Those
going.
and those have to be like serious events, right? But who's to say that you destroy a power grid, game over.
Yeah.
You ruin a water supply, game over, right? You somehow control food supply or do something about that, game over. And then it's martial law. That part is natural. We as humans, we're animals. We're always going to resort to violence, but with that will come total control.
Oh, 100%. I feel like anytime that they've, all these countries, including America, have signed up like with the World Economic Forum's agenda, but they've also been signing on to let the World Health Organization control things in another pandemic. So if you decide to give full control, and the government now is going to have full control if there's a pandemic, they're going to create a pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Anytime that you can decide to just take all of the control, there's always those people that are just going to take it. And if it means creating a pandemic, I guarantee they've already created 10 of them. There's 10 of them in the queue ready to go, viruses.
Oh yeah.
They're 100%.
Because we're technologically advanced enough, we now have biochemical warfare,
I mean,
biological. We
Fauci
have
was funding
AI.
in Wuhan that lab. I
Yeah.
mean, America and Fauci were funding the gain of function stuff for COVID. It's proven, but guarantee there's 10 more things in the queue ready to go that are worse. You just watch.
What do you think about this whole, respiratory virus that's blowing up in China right now?
100%. I guarantee that just randomly got leaked out of another lab.
Yeah. Another
Yeah,
accident.
they're testing things out.
That's
I
what I
think
say.
I do think though that there's a lot of people that are just compliant as hell and will mask up and do whatever they say, stay like camp in their basement forever. But there's a lot of people that woke up on the first pandemic that finally are just like, I'm not giving you an inch. Like if we give them an inch of control, they'll take miles like they did. The first time we gave them an inch, oh, okay, we'll wear this mask.
3 weeks.
We'll do
a
this.
month.
Yeah, shelter at home for 2 weeks and turned into 2.5 years. Yeah, F that. Just fuck these people. They're the worst ever.
Well, they weren't following it though. These are the same people
Yeah,
that
so
were
the
not
people that
following the guidelines.
it's like the people like us that were like, just okay, we'll play the game for 3 weeks. Now I'm play the game for 0 seconds.
Outta here.
0 seconds.
Just thinking about today, I'm like,
Yeah.
if this shit comes back, right, and they have to do these masks so you can't come into the store, man, I'll be pissed. I'm going to that store and
Yeah.
I'm getting my food.
Meanwhile, the people that are, doing the mob thefts, they're not wearing masks.
Yeah.
They're wearing masks only because you can't see their face, not because it's just such a scam, all of it.
Well, I see it more and more. There's really all these companies, a lot of companies actually lost a lot of money, but I see it
100%.
firsthand how they constantly steal, and the company doesn't want to press charges. Like the employees are told, hey, we're not going to, because for misdemeanor theft,
It's from their corporate.
right? If you steal a certain amount, up to a certain amount, it's a misdemeanor. After that, it becomes grand theft, right? Under that certain amount, because it's a misdemeanor, you have to be willing to press charges.
Yeah.
Okay? And so the employees are told, no, you're not only going to not press charges. Some companies, and I'm telling you this is true, tell their employees, oh, you can't even leave the store, chase after them, or come out to identify the person if the person is arrested by the police.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't even, they can't prosecute them because there's no witness. Nobody can go out and identify him.
Yeah. That happens.
It's out of control.
That happens.
Well, I like the owner of Home Depot. I know the owner is very conservative and thinks all this shit is just criminal. And I've seen people try to steal shit in Home Depot recently, and the swarms of cops there and people out there identifying them. So good. At least he's standing up.
I guarantee you, Home Depot has a pretty low ESG score
Yeah.
because they're Conservative.
Yeah, of
Elon
course.
Musk has a horrible Tesla has a horrible ESG score.
Yeah.
And you telling me Tesla has a horrible ESG score, right? Environmentally
Yeah.
bad? Come on.
You give me a
And
break.
you look at the companies, I don't want to name them, that have good ESG scores. Like, where the fuck did that
It's
come
just
from?
a scam, dude.
I
It's
know.
just like the people that put like dolphin safe like logo on tuna. It's a
Dolphin
scam.
safe logo on tuna?
Yeah, like
Tell me about that.
like we netted all these tuna, we didn't net all the dolphins.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
complete scam, dude. It's an organization developed by the fishermen to just say dolphin safe. It doesn't mean they didn't kill 100 dolphins while they've got the tuna either.
Hundreds. More.
Hundreds. Yeah, I mean that's a totally different conversation, but you get what I mean. It's just people don't have enough logic skills today to look into stuff like that. Like if you see something and you start to research it or follow the money, you always come to the conclusion that it's complete bullshit. It's the people in power that are creating these things just to make themselves look like the heroes, even though they're the villains.
Mike, I can't help it but think about this. Now that we can talk about these conspiracy theories, right? But I call them facts.
Yeah.
For hours.
Yeah, most.
But you have a son.
Yeah,
You're raising a son. You're raising a man.
yeah,
'Cause I believe it's a man's job to raise a man, not a
100%.
woman's job. And a woman is not able to raise a man like a man is able to raise a man. But what you're seeing right now, what we're dealing with, what we have in the world, are you concerned about anything when it comes to being a father and raising a son?
I mean, I think that the worst of things will be in his generation. He'll have to deal with way more. I'll be old and decrepit by the time it really hits the fan, I think. And I think so I have to pass the torch. And so I'm trying to raise someone I could pass the torch to. So I 100% purposely am not his. I like being his friend, but I'm his father first. Like we have a great relationship. I love teaching him stuff, but I'm hard on him when I need to be. If he screws around, I'm not there to sugarcoat stuff or, you know, ease into anything. I make sure he understands, like, I'm tough. He's manly.
Yeah.
He likes to be manly.
Yeah.
He is definitely a boy. There's no
I love that
there's
kid,
no in between. Like
He's grown. He's a thick boy like his dad.
oh yeah, he's
He's a thick
10
boy,
and
dude.
he's 10 about 109 pounds.
Yeah. He's thick.
He's a big
Like
kid.
you, man.
He's strong. I mean, he's got muscle.
Yeah.
He's got a little belly, but he's got a lot of muscle.
I will never forget that one time when me and you were working out together. We were on a lap pull down machine, remember?
Yeah.
I think I even have either a photo or video somewhere. And you just you lifted all the weights that were in a lap pull down machine. And I'm standing there looking at you doing lap pull downs with all the weights in. And the freaking machine is like shaking. I'm like, Jesus Christ, please don't let this machine snap right now because this motherfucker is not going to stop until he's done with his set.
That's exactly how I do everything intense.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely one of those
I
fucking.
got him
intense
down
people.
there training too. I have a little gym in my house, and
Yeah.
I got him. Obviously he's 10, so he shouldn't be lifting like heavy weights at this point. But I like getting him, lightweight. Get the feel for it. Start develop his stabilizer muscles. Like when you're his age, stabilizing weight is like the biggest nightmare because you have no stabilizer muscles. So they're just awkward at 10,
And anybody who goes to the gym for the first time and tries to lift weights, you
But
have that problem as well.
I got him doing lightweight, like the bar and like a 10 or something, like a 45-pound bar.
He
and
does
the
a
10,
bar in 10.
but doing it for like set to 20 squats deep. I'm teaching him how to squat real deep in good form, and he's got good form. So, it's for me that's important because when I started lifting, I was pushed by all the wrong people that don't care about form. They care about weight, like football coaches in high school the conditioning P coaches, they were just the worst. Like, I don't know what they were thinking, but they had us doing all kinds of weird stuff that was like hard on your back and your joints. And so I'm teaching him like how to do it right first, develop it first, then the weight will come, you know?
Yeah, I learned that hard and late into my years. I did a lot of ego lifting.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I did tons of it. I mean, I've always been super strong. You know, I started lifting when I was 14. By the time I was 16, I was pretty big. I mean,
Yeah.
I gained like 30 pounds over a summer when I went through puberty. Just jacked.
It's like my balls dropped.
I was like 185 in high school, benching 385.
Damn.
You know?
You were definitely one of those guys who were in the 1,000 club from the very beginning.
Oh,
the
thanks.
1,000 pound clubs.
Yeah, I always had like a ball,
That-
like a big old ball in my
Yeah.
bicep, you know, even at 16.
I remember that photo. Remember that photo you sent me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I got a photo, like an
Yeah.
old fashioned photo like, on my 16th birthday. So
Yeah.
I just turned 16.
A nice boulder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I look all old for some reason.
Like in Trumbull.
I grow a full beard in like about 6 days when I was 16. Just a ball of
Puberty
hormones.
hit you early, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I was a late bloomer.
Yeah?
I was a late bloomer, and then 1 year over summer, dude, I just
Yeah.
flew.
Oh, you got tall.
Yeah, I got tall, but
Yeah.
I was skinny, and then I was skinny all the way through like college, and then I got annoyed. I got fed up, and I'm like, "Bro, this is bullshit." So I started lifting for 3 years, and I have like a before and after photo. That's before I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I went from like
Yeah, you were big, right? And then you lost the weight.
Yeah, I went from like 175 or something to like 220 over the course
Yeah.
of 3 years. But what I was doing is like I was in college, dude. I was sleeping, lifting, and
Yeah.
eating, going to school.
Oh, yeah.
Good times. It was perfect.
College was great. I could
Yeah,
just,
hell yeah.
I'd go get a rotisserie chicken, eat the entire thing, and a 1 pound chocolate bar in one sitting.
Dude, back then, In and Out did not have the limit, the 4 patty
Like-
limit.
Yeah.
Remember?
The what?
Back then, you know how the In and Out has a 4 patty
Oh, yeah.
max limit?
Yeah.
Back then, it didn't have it.
Well,
Dude,
I was in Illinois, so there was no In and Out.
That's right. With
but
the whole rotisserie chicken.
I lost
chocolate.
out on that growing up.
Woo.
So I say whole rotisserie chicken and a bunch of chocolate. I go just lift weights like a madman. I would eat like, I mean, ridiculous amounts of food. Like even in high school, up until, you know, like into college, I'd eat for breakfast a dozen eggs and a bowl of like
A
granola.
dozen eggs?
A dozen scrambled eggs and a bowl of granola.
That's a lot of eggs.
Even now, I'm 41. My breakfast is 6 to 8 eggs and some wheat toast.
Dude, I need to up my egg game. I'm at 6.
Nah, dude,
What?
up it.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I know.
Eat
Dude,
that
I
like,
feel like a little
two,
bitch right
two,
now.
3 times a day, man. Come on.
Yeah, I love eggs, man. I
Yeah, eggs are
love
the best.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, 100%. It's like 98 absorbable protein, 98% absorbable into your body.
Yeah.
The next best is like beef protein, and chicken's like 78%.
I was actually recently looking into the meals, the types of protein that are
Yeah.
the most absorbable.
Yeah, eggs.
And so this is from highest to lowest, right?
Yeah.
Pork loin. That's what I had for lunch today.
Yeah, beef. That's not eggs. You're saying just meat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think eggs is on the list as well. Yeah, beef protein, pork loin, whey protein concentrate, ribeye. You have whey protein isolate, eggs.
Yeah.
So eggs are there too.
Yeah.
And then you have the ground beef, chicken breast, soy isolate, chickpea, etc., etc., etc. But yeah, those are the top 5. Eggs is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love just eggs. Are just I love them.
Oh, me
They're
too.
just perfect.
It's crazy because I've eaten like, you know, as of right now, like, so when I'm not remodeling a home and doing tons of cardio every day, like 6 hours of cardio after work, you know, doing straight remodeling. Like now I'm like 216 pounds at 5'11", but I normally sit at like 235.
Yes, you do, my friend.
I'm a big
Yes, you
dude.
do.
So, you know, normally when I'm at 235, I'm eating like tons of eggs. I'm eating tons of like red meat. And so I get my blood work done and it's like everything's perfect except for my cholesterol is just a little bit high.
Yeah.
And so I had a doctor one time, he goes, he goes, hey, your cholesterol's, it's not out of the category, but it's
On the
just
high side,
high
the
in
range,
the
yeah.
category. So, you know, I was like, yeah, I eat a lot of eggs. He's like, well, you really shouldn't have more than 2 yolks a week.
What?
I go, dude, I have 64 yolks a week. I have 8 eggs every morning, like 6 to 8 eggs every morning times seven. It's like,
Oh my God.
56 to 60, it's 56 yolks minimum a week because sometimes I eat eggs twice in a day.
I
And
love it.
he looked at me and his eyes were just like, what the fuck? He goes, well, I guess your cholesterol is really not that high because your body's processing it really
Hell yeah,
well.
dude. I've never had a problem with
Yeah.
cholesterol.
Yeah.
I've
I
never had a
go,
problem with cholesterol.
100%. It's perfect now, guaranteed. Just like, you know, I naturally just stress out about stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll get a little bit high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I've been doing nothing but cardio and not lifting,
Yeah.
and like, even though my job's naturally stressful mentally, it the doing the 5 6 hours of hard labor afterwards, my blood pressure is just perfect. Like it's like I'm 18. It's like
I love it.
120 over 78.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
super good.
What's your heart rate at? What's your average steady heart rate at?
I mean, my resting heart rate's probably like 55,
Okay, it's
56.
good. It's really good.
Yeah.
How much protein you eat every day? Protein or if you can count calories, how much calories do you consume?
I mean, on a regular basis, I probably consume 4 to 5 thousand
Okay. I'm at
calories.
4 right now. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, even when I diet, like if I try to get ripped, I still eat 3 to 4 thousand calories a day, but it's just what you eat.
Yeah.
What I eat changes. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I take the yolks out of the eggs. I eat like
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10 egg whites.
That's still a big chunk.
It's a lot of protein, but it's not. There's fat in the
Yeah.
yolk, and I eat that. I'll eat a little bit of oatmeal or whatnot. I'll eat rice with chicken, rice with fish.
You're making
Every
you're
4 hours.
me want to eat breakfast right now.
I know, dude. But you get it. Like
Yeah.
right now I'm dumping, I'm putting a bunch of cheese in my eggs and eating all the yolks. It's like I don't care because I'm burning calories like
Yeah.
mad, after work. So
Mm.
it's different. Like I mean, probably 3 times a week right now I have a massive ice cream sundae. I'm still losing weight because I'm doing like 5 6 hours of cardio.
You son of a gun. Ice
Yeah.
cream Sunday, huh?
Yeah, I'll put like a bunch of vanilla ice cream, chocolate, and caramel syrup all over it. It's different, If you're lifting and you're trying to lose weight, everything's calculated. But
Yeah.
no normal human being does 5 6 hours of cardio a day.
Yeah.
I'm like, and when I do construction, I don't do like a normal pace. I work fast and hard. Like I'm like a nut. With it. Like I do not pace myself at all, so I burn lots of calories.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just I don't know. It's the way I do it.
Talk to me about you were talking about Jonathan earlier. Obviously, you have kids, right? I don't have any kids, but I do think about that stuff. Talk to me about being a father, bro. Like, what's the best part about being a dad?
Oh man. I mean, it's like looking in a mirror.
Really?
That's the best. I mean, just it's the I think the greatest thing in the world is when they're like 2, they already have their own personality.
At 2.
Like 2 years old, they got their own personality. Like even younger. I mean, Jonathan's personality, he's like 8 days old and he's like putting his hands up. He's got a face, like a
Oh, it reminds me of
mean
somebody.
mugging.
Reminds me of someone I know.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just funny because his personality, he 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 still gets those like he still gives those funny like looks. He still has that like personality where he's stubborn. He wants to be right. He's like it's just interesting to see him develop. And he is so knowledgeable now because he's his school is awesome and it's just seeing him like I think it's the greatest feeling in the world being a father and watching them develop into a young man and all the knowledge they have and now having their own personality like he cracks jokes, He's always wanted to crack jokes. He's always had a great like laugh and smile even at a young age, but now it's like he's developing it into like complex jokes. It's like funny. He just knows what he's doing. He's got his own, he's just his own man. So I think it'll be the greatest feeling in the world to watch him surpass what I did. I mean, he's already the luckiest kid on earth because I look at the only vacation I did as a kid, we went to Canada to fish in, mosquito infested like lakes, and which is awesome. Okay. But it's not Hawaii. Like he's 3.5. I taught him how to snorkel and he's seeing sea turtles and stuff. Like this kind of stuff is, I'm just like, that's why anytime he complains, I go, tell me how you're oppressed.
He says oppressed?
I say it. I go, tell me how you are oppressed.
Uh-huh.
You feel oppressed? Mm-hmm. Tell me how. I want you to tell me. When he's like complaining about something. I'm like, oh, you're so oppressed. Let me hear it. Let me hear how you're oppressed.
What does it say?
It just has nothing to say. Like, of course you have nothing to say. Fucker. There's nothing you're oppressed. Like, you're at a private school. Like, he complains he's got homework. Like, you're so oppressed. You're at a fucking, like, best school, best, like, grade school there is around, it's just the stuff you learn. Like, just like recently, they did a field trip to Catalina Island for, like, 3 days to this semi camp. They, like, snorkeled. They, have this, like, ocean, like, lab. They're seeing stuff in microscopes. They're out like rappelling, climbing rock walls on Catalina Island. Yeah. I'm like, I call one of my friends I grew up with. We're just joking. We're like, hey, my nickname's Bull. He's like, yeah, Bull. It's like just like our field trips where they took us to a farm and told us they would teach us how to detassel corn all day for free. So we got to work for free at a farm, like for free. Like we worked and all we did was detassel corn, or like, oh, hey, we're going to go to this berry orchard and we're going to pick berries all day and put them in these crates for the company to sell.
I've done
child labor. Where I grew up, it was field trips. I was like, so I was just telling Jonathan, like, it's almost the same, right? I mean, you went to Catalina Island, you had a great time. I picked berries so the company didn't have to pay people to pick berries and put them in the containers.
I can't with this shit, bro. I've picked cotton before.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was forced to fucking go motherfucking field trip to pick cotton. That shit is laborious, bro.
Yeah. It's just the craziest one is like when they take that field trip with inner city kids. Just like, what is happening? This is just unacceptable on so many levels.
I can just imagine an inner city kid.
Yeah.
On that field trip. What do I do with this? Where are we? What universe is this? What planet? What do I do?
No, I just like, the pun of them picking cotton is just like, what is the school thinking?
It was straight child labor, bro. Yeah. Straight up.
That's exactly what my field trips always were. Just straight up child labor. Man. I mean, I grew up in the country. It's like, that's what they expected anyways.
But I have no complaints, though.
I don't either.
Do you have any complaints?
No. I mean, I learned how to work hard at a young age, that's for sure. My dad was like, he's like, well, I mean, you've been sleeping in, so I'm going to get you a job at the neighbor's dairy farm, and you can pull buckets of grain to the cows, and you'll pull the bales of hay out for them to eat. And, he's like, I worked out, like, obviously you can't walk through the 13 electric fences, but you can't walk on the highway, so you're just going to have to duck and army crawl under all the electric fences to the cows. I was 6. Got me a job at the neighbors at 6.
I can't believe you fucking waited to disclose that detail all the way
for $1 a day. And I thought I was like young enough where Nintendo just came out, and I was just like, well, fuck, if I work all summer, I could buy a Nintendo by the end of the summer. Like
Damn.
$1 a day.
He taught you value.
Oh, of course. He was like, hey, you've been kind of lazy lately. I'm like, I am 6.
You're 6, bro.
Yeah. Like, this is my dad could be a whole nother podcast with that.
We shall revisit that.
He is,
How's he doing, by the way?
he is all right. I mean, the craziest thing is, you know, to qualify to be on hospice, they have to think you're not going to make it 6 months, and you actually have to have diagnosis, right? Yeah. He's got 19 things wrong with him, like COPD, emphysema. He smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day for 50 years, and like a lot, like one after another all day. And he's broke his back, ripped his knee. He's got kidney failure, like stage 3. I think stage 4 is like death or dialysis. He's got heart valve issues, you name it. He's got it all. And 3 years ago, he went on hospice. And he signed himself off because they were interfering with his visits to the tavern. Like, he's like, I'm not going to wait around all day here because they're telling me they're going to be here 10 to noon. The bar opens at 10. I'm going to be at the bar at like 10:10 if they're not here. So he's like a cat, like with 99 lives. Like, he's on like his last 6, but it's crazy.
How old is the guy again?
He just turned 78 the 25th.
God damn.
But I mean, he's a disaster. I mean, he had a massive stroke like 10 years ago, left him paralyzed on one side. Like, I mean, he is crazy. He can't drive because that's another thing. Got a phone call this was like 2 years ago.
You always get those phone calls, bro.
All the time. It's always when I'm on like vacation or something.
I know what that feels like, brother.
I get the phone call. So, okay, during COVID, I get the phone call. This is a different phone call. I get the phone call during COVID. Doctor's like, hey, your dad's got COVID. And I'm like, fuck, he's got like 19 pre-existing like comorbidities. Not even like they're 19 different things. Like, he's already drowning in his lungs. He's got how is this gonna work? Like, he's got everything wrong with him.
Oh my God, I can't.
Like everything.
I can't
right
now.
So the doctor's like, you should really, maybe come. I was like, oh shit. Like, okay. Like, I'm going to wait like one day and I'm going to book my flight. And I'm like, oh, man, okay, I'm going to call his phone, see if he's like coherent. I'm like, hey Dad, what's going on? He's like, yeah. He's like, I checked myself out. He's like, I don't believe in this covert bullshit. It's like, okay, just left the hospital, fine. And then I'm just like, okay, but you shouldn't go to the bar because you have COVID. He's like, okay, I'll stay home. And it's like 3 days later, he's at the bar. Just for some reason, I think his lungs have dealt with so much, none of it was a problem. But then he got COVID pneumonia, fluid in the lungs. Then he went into the hospital for that, got him in a skilled nursing for that. Like, the skilled nursing facility, like a nursing home, they took such good care of him. We advocated for 7 days to get him in there, right? Yeah. I was there for 7 days to get him skilled nursing, because to get into a skilled nursing covered by Medicare, you have to have had a hospital stay for at least 3 days. To qualify now, you can have 100 days in a skilled nursing, but because it was COVID, I got some waiver that he could qualify for that. So I fly home. I got him in there on a Thursday. I get a call Sunday. He's like, you got to get me the fuck out of here. He's like, I've been in here for months. I was like, you have not been in there for months. You've been in there since Thursday. He's like, and what about Thursday before that? And the Thursday before that? I was like, you've been in there since Thursday. I'm like, fuck, okay, fuck it. I just came, I checked them out. I flew back, I checked them out. It's like, that's it. I'm done. for a while. And then it was like months later, he's driving. And note, he's not supposed to drive. Like 10 nurses and some doctors are like, hey, he has really bad diabetes that he doesn't control.
Diabetes too?
Like the worst diabetes because all he eats is sugar and alcohol doesn't help it either. So he has horrible diabetes to the point where he just blacks out. But he shouldn't be driving. All of them told him that, right? He's driving, blacks out, going 65, goes across oncoming traffic, thank God, doesn't kill anybody, goes across 2 culverts, right? Jumps through 2 culverts, jumps across a creek and hits the concrete wall on the other side of the creek, totals the car, breaks 3 ribs. I get a phone call. I'm on vacation. I get a phone call from a doctor. They're like, hey, your dad's in really bad shape. Like he's going to really have to work hard to get out of here alive. And I was like, oh shit, like this is not good. So like, I'm at like a work meeting / enjoying it too, but it's in Hawaii on Oahu, right? There was a big job there. So I was there for the kickoff of the job. And so I wait a day. I call a day later. He's at home. He's like,
A day later,
he's at home. He's like, these broken ribs are a pain in the ass. It's like, obviously, okay, you're fine. I'm not coming. This, just like, yeah, he's just a cat. I swear to God, I don't know what it is.
Man.
He's too stubborn.
He refuses to
yeah,
die.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I'm
sure.
sorry to say this, but
like death comes over with a sickle, and he just gets so like he's too stubborn. He gets all like just frustrated and just is like, okay, it's fine. Like,
dude, God bless the guy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta give it to him.
I mean, he was a drill sergeant during Vietnam and went to Korea.
So that explains.
Yeah,
and Korea too.
He was in Korea. He wasn't in Vietnam. He was during Vietnam. There was a second offensive in Korea. So,
bro, yeah, they don't make him like that no more, man.
He's just such a psychopath.
Oh God. You think
so
your
you can imagine what my childhood was like.
Yeah, dude. I was gonna ask you, you think your childhood had to do a lot? You think your child has to do a lot about how you grew up to be?
I think
but
so.
It's pretty obvious that I shouldn't.
I mean, I have a problem sleeping in. Let's just say that. Like,
since you were 6 years old.
Since I was like as old as I can remember, Saturday, Sunday, it's your weekend, ready to he'd be doing this drill sergeant voice at 5:30. Get up, like we got work to do, just like getting me up, just wake you up, and then he would come in your room, make a bunch of noise, and then he'd be like, "Oh, you're up. Let's go." I was like, I didn't know you were up. Like, oh, obviously I'm up. You've been making noise for an hour. He's like, the guy would, even if he drank till midnight, he never slept past 4:30 in the morning.
Really?
Ever.
Why is that?
He was always up at 4:30. He was always doing work.
You never ask him why?
He would just always be up. I don't know. I mean, he would have to get up at 4:30 to go to work because he worked like an hour and 20-minute drive from where we lived. So he would be up super early, could start work super early. He's an electrician for 50 years or whatever. So interesting though.
Was he like physical with you or?
No, more just yelling.
Yeah.
He was never really physical, but my dad was also like a state qualifier for wrestling during high school and stuff. So, and he trained martial arts in Korea and all that stuff. So like if you tried to fuck with him, he would shut you down. Like he would twist your wrist and you'd just be on the ground. Like there'd be no, but he wasn't abusive. He was abusive, like verbally, very abusive.
Really?
Oh yeah. Just not physically, but definitely verbally.
Have you, do you know his dad, your grandfather?
Oh yeah.
How was he?
He was Viral. Viral was
Thurl?
Yeah, born in 1906.
Oof.
Verl was just too young to be in World War One and too old to be in World War Two, but helped. He was part of a top secret project in a basement of a house that to design aerial torpedoes to be like dropped out of planes to hit submarines.
Yeah. Oh.
So he was a good engineer. He worked for like International Harvester his whole life, and then made a fortune in the stock market after he retired.
Okay.
So, but he was very very stubborn. There's all the Trumbles are super stubborn. I see it in my son too.
I don't think
Right.
you're stubborn.
I'm stubborn, but less stubborn.
Yeah, you.
They're
yeah.
like they're like ridiculously stubborn.
Really?
Oh yeah, like my grandfather was just very very stubborn. Like the most stubborn human being. Wouldn't talk about anything. Like the worst thing in the world could happen, there'd be no reaction. It's just those types of people. They don't make them like they used to. I mean, he was cheap. Like the dude made a fortune in the stock market. He still pull his own teeth with pliers. If
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah.
No.
He wouldn't go to the dentist.
No.
He got mad. He had a heart attack at Thanksgiving dinner one year. Blacked out, vomited on himself. Had a stroke or heart attack or whatever it was. I was too young to know which what. But the ambulance came and they cut his clothes off. And he got so pissed they cut his clothes off.
How old was he?
He was like 86 at the time.
Wow.
He lived till he was like 95.
Damn, you have that longevity gene in your family.
Oh, yeah. And Verl, I mean, I think he smoked and drank till he was like 60 and then just decided to quit and lived till he was 95. He was still playing the stock market at 94. But it took a turn after that, so he spent like 9 months in a nursing home. But he was coherent enough that if my dad and my uncle walked in that room, he would turn and never look at them because they put him in there. But he needed to be in there.
Really?
Yeah, it was a problem. But he was coherent enough to know he didn't want to be in there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's kind of why I'm hesitant to do any of that stuff with my father. We just kind of have a caregiver helping out, and he's just he can't drive because of what I told you.
Yeah.
So his new thing is he has an electric wheelchair that he bought. He drives it 3 miles around town to go eat and drives it to the bars like 4 times a day. He goes 4 times a day on it, and he doesn't drive the sidewalks. He drives right in the middle of traffic. I have friends all the time that text me videos. I went there and I didn't tell him I was there for like 4 days. I just followed him and videotaped him like just holding traffic up as he drives right in the middle of the road in an electric wheelchair. The cops come and they're like, you can't drive in the middle of the road. And then he just goes to the sidewalk. They drive away, goes right back in the middle of the road. Just doesn't care at all.
Does it matter what time of the year it is?
No, there's snow on the ground there right now. Guaranteed he's like thinking of getting chains on his electric wheelchair for sure.
Wow, man, yeah, that's a stubborn man.
Yeah.
That's a stubborn man.
Like he's finding ways to get places. And so recently we found out he was going to the bars at like 1 in the morning. 1:30 in the morning. He's going to the bars. Like he gets restless, he doesn't sleep, so he just drives.
He lives where now?
In a town called Rochelle. So
which is what state?
Illinois.
Okay, so still in Illinois.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he drives to the bars, but he's going at night. So we recently got all these locks and chains, and chain his who have his caregiver, and when we're there, we chain it up at after 4 o'clock. Like you go to the bar, but not after 4 o'clock. Because once it gets dark, we don't need you. It got dark one time. He turned the corner, hit a curb, spilled over, just bloody knees, shit. All right, he went off the chair because he's driving at night.
Dude.
So
why does he go to bars so much?
He just loves to drink.
Drink at home.
He doesn't want to drink at home. He's social. I told you, he's just stubborn and crazy. That's what he wants. He doesn't eat at home. He goes to eat breakfast at a restaurant and dinner at a restaurant.
Wow. Well, he lives by himself, huh?
Yep.
Damn.
Yep, I've been back many times. I went and remodeled his bathroom, put a walk-in shower with a seat,
Yeah.
just whatever I could do for him.
Yeah. Interesting man, dude.
Yep, he is definitely the most stubborn human being I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. And you see it in your son now.
I don't see him like I just see he's stubborn.
Stubborn.
It's
Yeah.
a Trumbull trait. They're just stubborn. We are stubborn.
Yeah, he also
If we feel like we know something, we're just stubborn, guaranteed.
I love it. You gotta have a little bit of that trait in life, though. Sometimes you just gotta be able to push through. You need a little bit of stubbornness. I think it's necessary.
Yeah, I think so too. I think being
Yeah.
stubborn definitely, um, if you're stubborn in your, if you're stubborn, like you are passionately stubborn,
Yeah.
like you can be successful with it. You can't be stubborn like I take other people's point of views
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like all information is good.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect other people's point of views. I respect everybody's input. Whereas my father's like, he's got his way and it's that way or nothing. He doesn't want to hear
Yeah.
it.
A lot of men from that generation, like my dad, was stubborn too. My sister is stubborn because she takes after my dad. I'm not. I'm not as stubborn. I'm a little bit stubborn, but I'm, like I said, passionately stubborn.
Yeah.
I don't. I try not to be ego stubborn.
No.
Because when you allow the ego to get in, that's when you can let things get out of control.
I'm stubborn like if I know something, I won't let all the input
Mm-hmm.
coming from all directions change my point of view.
You have to be
I'm
stubborn
stubborn in that.
for what you believe in.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm stubborn just like you are. I'm stubborn for what I believe in. And sometimes like I get pissed if this external pressure is trying to cave me in. I was like, hell no. Like,
Yeah.
I refuse to lose. Like I would rather die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That is a good trait.
I don't think I can.
That is a very
was
good
thinking
trait
about
because people are trying to brainwash you
Mhm.
constantly with something.
Mhm.
They're trying to sway your opinion, sway your point of view. And if you're stubborn super stubborn in your point of view
Yeah.
and your beliefs, they're not going to sway you.
Yeah.
You're not going to get brainwashed.
As I'm reading that book, 1984, right? And I was thinking about it today. If this was to happen here, like would I go along with this program or would I fight the system? Because the book talks about if you try to fight the system, you disappear. You get they take you out.
Yeah.
People would go missing at night. Like, how far are you willing to go? Because at the end of the day, like these are the questions I ask myself. Because this can happen, and
Yeah.
it has happened, right? How far are you willing to take it? I always ask myself, how far are you willing to go? Because it's not the violence that sets men apart, right? It's the distance
Yep.
one man is capable of going when it comes to violence. That's what sets him apart
Well, I
from
mean,
the
if
rest.
it's something that's threatening the well-being of my family, I'm going to go to the death.
Uh,
So I'll care about that way before I care about all my possessions and other stuff.
Mhm.
I've lost it and rebuilt it before, do it again. But if people try to can control every aspect of your life, my fear is what they're doing the last couple decades is they slowly take and take and take. And when it's only a millimeter at a time, you don't notice it.
mhm,
And then all of a sudden, you look up and you have a bunch of rights missing,
mhm,
a bunch of freedoms missing. And that's exactly what's been happening for decades.
mhm.
It's just now, after, like, they used COVID to just fast track it. They fast tracked all the control. It's like, it's in the name of this. And then, it's like all these people are dying when really, if you look at the total number of people that died every year previous, it's not much more. So how did they all die? How did that many people die of COVID if the total number of deaths in the world isn't that much more than normal?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They didn't die of COVID.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They were just writing it on every
Everything.
death certificate.
Do you think you know how we have now people like Elon Musk, right? Freedom
Yeah.
of speech, Twitter, Patrick Bet David, freedom of speech media company, putting it out there. Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
media, Jordan Peterson, education, Jordan
Yeah.
Peterson Academy. Do you think these are the side effects of what we saw after COVID? People are now, men are now standing up for what they believe in. They see that all these parts are controlled by
Well, I
whoever.
mean,
Let's
Joe
call it
Rogan was big before it, but
correct.
I mean, he uses his
Oh,
platform.
and they try,
Yeah.
but people are standing up. Like we can talk about Andrew Tate or all those
Yeah.
guys. There's men standing up to the system.
Oh yeah.
They want to
And the
like
system's trying to knock him down as
knock
much
them
as they
down
can.
hard,
Oh yeah.
knock them down hard, using all kinds of
You know
false
what's crazy
tactics.
though is like CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all of them together. Joe Rogan's uh, average viewership is like double all of them.
I love
It's
it.
10
I
million
love
viewers
it.
average on a
Yeah,
podcast.
I
So
love it.
it's 100% like
People
you're
resonate.
you're meant to think these big media is like the point of view everybody has. They're really just a
Yeah,
propaganda machine. And stuff like Joe Rogan, most people gravitate to that because they want to hear legit truth, legit journalism.
yeah.
They want like he always has professionals on there. He always has people with good knowledge. He's good at guiding the conversation.
Free thinkers too.
Yeah, free thinkers. There's the news is just bought and paid for. I guarantee there's
Hmm.
people from the CIA in there just controlling the narrative. It's a scam.
Yeah.
I got rid of live TV and news like a decade ago, and
Dude,
it's the best thing I ever did in my life.
100%. Yeah, same. I
I
don't.
don't
We don't
want
even
to.
have TV
I don't want to
anymore.
hear any of those people's point of view. It's
Mm-mm.
all BS. It's all been it. The best way to be in the worst mood ever is
Listen,
to watch the news because it's always like the 50 worst things that's happened to society that week or that day. It's never like the 100 great things that happened. There's really great things going on all over the world all the time.
yeah,
Never the news never reports any of it.
and that's what a lot of these
Just
kids,
negative,
man.
negative, negative, negative all the time.
That's what a lot of these kids that they think the world is. They naively they think you want some more.
Oh, well, maybe just a teeny bit.
Naively they think that
It is very good.
yeah, that the world is all butterflies and rainbows, right? But also subconsciously they pump this bullshit into their brain that shows them that there's all this negativity in the world, right?
Yep.
So they're not ready for the real world, and at the same time they're seeing that the world is such a piece of shit place to be and to live in, right? So they're like, oh, what should I live for? I have no reason to live. And suicide rates
Yeah.
are skyrocketing.
Yeah, it's all propaganda for them too. And then they go to school and they're being taught like oh, because you're a certain race, you should feel horrible for
Yeah.
like you should feel horrible for everything that's happened in the past. It's
What your
they're
ancestors
just
done.
they're just like bombarded with chaos. That's why I I have a daughter which has severe special needs. She's a little angel. Thank
She
God
is.
she doesn't have to deal with any of this
Warrior,
chaos.
too.
Yeah, she doesn't have to like worry about what's going on in the world. She's just in her own like world, and it's
Cheers for
great.
her. And for your kids, man.
She's beautiful, and she is always happy and laughing, and that's all that matters. She's actually taught me a lot. So she can teach you a lot. It's like happiness for her is very simple, and we like to complicate happiness. So you can choose to be happy anytime. You can always choose to be happy. Just we always overcomplicate happiness. She does not. She's literally always happy. You hold her, she laughs her butt off. You play with her, she laughs her butt off. She's just always happy. Just the way that kids can teach you a lot. We don't have to overcomplicate it ever.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. I was talking to somebody the other day. As a matter of fact, I had a post recently on my page, and I said
Ooh.
the problem It's not the problem. It's your attitude about it. Just on Monday,
Yeah.
I think I posted something like the Monday is not the problem. You're the problem because you think that Mondays are bad, and because you spend the rest of the week, coasting from Monday to Friday, and you look forward to the weekend, and you drink, you waste your time sleeping, not do anything with yourself, with your life. You wake up on Monday, you feel like shit, probably even hungover.
Yeah.
You repeat the same cycle again and again and again. I
Yeah, it's
said
a horrible
create a
cycle.
life. So as I said, create a life where you look forward to Mondays instead of dreading them.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like you said, it's right here.
It's interesting that I always look at the weekend as I'm either like if I'm doing construction, that's the time when I don't have my normal job, so I work early to late
Yeah.
on the construction. I get the most done. I feel great. I get tons done,
Mm-hmm.
and then or I'll take my son and go like play golf. He loves to shoot golf balls. He's really good at it too. Like naturally, he can just crank golf balls
Where do
out.
you go? Top golf?
No, we just go to the regular driving
Oh.
range.
Oh, okay.
That dude can hit balls way out there.
Really?
He's 10.
I know.
I'm like, my buddy his dad was a golf coach. He's a really good golfer, and he was in town. We went to the driving range. We actually got a golf cart and did 9 holes with my son. He can hit the ball. He contacts the ball almost like 90% of the time, 95% of the time. Like if he hits 15 balls, he misses one. The rest he cranks out there. He's really accurate. It's awesome. It's awesome to see. I'm like, dude, I can't do anything like that. The worst at golf.
Wow.
So, but it's just naturally like he didn't practice. We went to the range like 4 times. That's
Wow.
it. But that to me, I mean, that's the best.
Yeah.
Take him out, I still get construction done too. If I take him in the morning, we go shoot some golf balls. We do the putting, course. So he learns how to putt too.
Yeah.
We do that. We drive a bunch of balls. We'll get like a basket of 100 balls. And we'll just crank them for like an hour and a half. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was interested in it, so I bought, golf clubs and stuff for him at his height. So it's exciting. That's what I was saying earlier is like I have a daughter with special needs. I have a son that's very smart, so I have nothing in between in my life ever. It's like one extreme to the next.
Really
So
bad, really good.
my son's a little genius, so we decided, we're going to send him to private school. So
Yeah.
we're like, we have one that has the opportunity to get to really push it, and so we sent him to private school, and it was the best decision. So it's just money, but seeing him develop into what he is and avoid all the BS in public school right now,
Yeah.
that's the most important.
Yeah.
It's just indoctrination station at public school.
Yeah. Especially here in California.
Yep.
Especially here in this county.
Oh yeah, the worst.
It's crazy.
So it's amazing, like the contrast though is like the public schools are such a nightmare, but you go to like Bella's school for kids with disabilities, they're all the most amazing people in the world.
Really?
Like, because they're all people that wanted to work there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people that have someone with disabilities or have some small disability or, there's just like, it's just amazing. These people are amazing. And they're always above and beyond. Like Jonathan's school constantly asking for donations and this and that. Like it's $1,800 a month or more. It's like they're asking for donations. Bella School's sending her home with like artwork and other stuff and doing like the opposite. Like it's all like they just do above and beyond. They don't ask for anything.
Really?
Yeah. So whenever they have something to donate, we donate to them.
Let me know whenever they have something that to donate, or whenever it's some kind of event or fundraiser. Let me know. I'd like to donate to that school.
They do the Glendale PD comes there sometimes and does some big event. They do the fire department does it. The fire department has like during Christmas they'll have a parade where like the chief of police dresses up as Santa. It's pretty awesome.
That sounds like
I
fun.
thought just like it's constant like fun over there, for the
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
And I'm like, it's just so night and day from seeing public schools what they're
yeah.
going through right now. It's like that is amazing. Public schools are horrible. The private schools amazing. So,
Public school system. But it's just like anything that the Democrats touch, it, it goes to shit.
yep.
So they touch,
Trump said it right. Go woke, go broke.
go woke. Not only
Everything
broke,
that's gone. Look at
broke in all aspects of life:
look at
mental, physical,
yeah.
spiritual,
Even look at
emotional.
Disney. Their stock way went broke.
Oh,
They went woke and their stock was like $300 a share. It went to like 89.
I don't
They
support
lost like
Disney at all.
$280 billion.
I don't care about them. I don't care about Disney. No, their propaganda, their agenda,
They're
a lot
horrible.
and dozens of employees being arrested for some kind of child pornography,
Oh, of course.
child molestation.
You just saw the thing about all the executives and like the government officials in LA and stuff.
No, well,
There's some huge child trafficking ring
really.
busted from all these big time government officials. Of course, politicians.
Yeah.
And guess
a lot of
guess guess what
pedos.
political party they're all part of?
Oh, I don't have to say that.
Yeah, they're not Republican.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
I don't know. We need to wake up. We need to wake up, and we need to take things into our own matter. We don't have to. I mean, we don't have to go far. There's a beautiful
No.
school district right here.
yeah, but
That's already being
I
fought by
think
the parents.
the masses have to start to wake up.
I think the masses are slowly getting their voice back.
Yeah,
I think.
I hope.
At least I'd like to think. I like to hope that
I just
way.
think there's too many people that are just lacking mentally enough to have any logic skills to decipher what's true and what's not true and look into stuff. They don't look past anything that they're being told. The news tells them something. They're like, it must be true.
Yeah.
You know?
And but then that's the thing that we talked about earlier during this podcast or conversation is that the goal is to brainwash.
Yeah.
The goal is to prevent them from being a free thinker. The goal is to turn them to sheep. They just follow
100%.
and take orders and are unable to and too scared
Yeah.
to make their own decisions and take lead.
Like they don't even see that. They're not even seeing like what's going on now. Like you ever see like the press secretaries or Biden, they do what they do on like psych evaluations where they'll ask you the same question 5 or 6 times in a different way. They make statements that are false 5 or 6 times so people believe it. They'll be like, the economy's doing great. The economy's doing great. It's doing better. Turns out the economy's doing a lot better. They just keep saying it. And like it's like or now they're trying to take credit. They're like, "Hey, the IRS is moving tax brackets so people are going to have more money." Little do they know that the IRS moves the tax brackets based on inflation every year, and it's only being moved further this year because inflation was so horrible that the IRS is moving tax brackets more. But all that means is that money, that more money is worth less now.
Well, that's not
Yeah, it's literally you didn't get a pay increase, you got a pay decrease. And Biden's like, and this press secretary like, we got the IRS moving tax brackets. Like, you don't have them doing anything. Like, they're doing it because your inflation's such shit. It's so horrible that they're moving the income up for tax brackets. So some people be in lower tax brackets. Those in lower tax brackets now they can buy half as much groceries. It's just like people are too dumb to realize this. Like, they don't look into it. They see like, hey, Biden's moving tax brackets. He's doing big stuff for us. He's told us 7 times, so it must be true. They just repeat
no
it.
free thought.
Yeah, they're no free thought. They're just being brainwashed. They don't even look into it. Like, why is that? Why are tax brackets moving? If they looked into it, they'd know why. It's because of inflation, which is shit. The worst ever.
Inflation was horrible.
Yeah.
Whenever something big happens across the border, whether it's TV, social media, whatever they're talking about in a submarine,
Yeah.
right? Some of the bullshit, alien invasion. I
Mm-hmm.
always look what's going on behind closed doors. Always.
100%. And the Navy knew
Or
that
if,
submarine exploded
yeah,
Sunday, and
yeah.
knew it
They
100%.
literally heard it.
Yeah,
Pun intended.
they knew they had the technology. They knew it blew up Sunday, and they had the news reported the shit 24/7 until Thursday. So what else was going on? Not good stuff.
Not good stuff.
Sinister bad things were going on, because that's the misdirection always.
To me, the part where I draw the line is when it comes to women and children and family. Like when you start to mess with kids, when men are start going to women's restrooms,
Oh,
when pedophiles are not called pedophiles but called minor attracted people, when freedom of speech is being affected, or when they're going after a Second Amendment, this is where I draw the line. Those are just a few things where I draw the line. And I think every man should. Because once this happens, you no longer have the means or the ability to fight back. Because let's face it. Let's look at Canada, look at Australia, look at certain countries in Europe. Look
yep.
at what happened to them when COVID
They
hit.
have dictators in power right now.
Correct. Right next door. We don't have to go far.
I mean, Trudeau is like up there with freaking
Yeah.
Hitler. He wants to do those types of things. He is that type of person. He's just waiting for the opportunity.
Fidel Castro's bastard son.
Yeah.
It even looks like him. Speaking of
Horrible.
conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Well, there's another one too. If you look at old videos of him, he definitely killed his brother on the ski slopes.
Really?
100%. It's like an interview of his mom and him, and he's just like, "Well, if he would have stayed home and played Nintendo, he wouldn't have died."
How long ago was that?
When they were teenagers, looked like young men. For sure, something sinister happened
Do you
there.
think he's like one of those?
He
He's
looked-
got a great smile and
Yeah.
personality.
No, he just what he was saying. It's just like no soul is in his body. He is the most sinister human being ever. Horrible. Horrible.
The devil wears multiple faces.
That's why Klaus Schwab wrote the WEF, just praises him. He's a great leader. Yeah, of course he is. 'Cause he's gonna pull, execute your agenda.
I don't want to look into Canada, man. I think there's a few things that's saving this country from becoming the next Canada is, we still have it written in our Constitution, right? And one of those, I think the most important thing is the Second Amendment.
100%.
Is because we still have so many men out and women out there, so many people, citizens
That are armed.
that are armed, that it's still not going to be easy,
Yeah.
and
They-
it's still impossible to take over.
They literally bring that up now, like every other week in Congress, that the Democrats are trying to bring up gun control. They're trying to take it. But you watch, man. You try to start taking guns from Americans, and there's a lot of them that will.
Yeah.
You'll be taking it from their dead hands.
Oh,
And they're going to take a bunch of people with them.
I am one of them. It's my constitutional and God-given right to protect myself, my family, and this country against the enemies, foreign and domestic.
100%.
And I'm willing to die for it.
Yep. And the government is trying to overstep its bounds.
Well, I guess
So
they have to learn.
that would be the domestic.
I know.
There's lots of those threats.
If you think I don't ask myself these questions, and I'm pretty sure you ask yourself those questions as well, and any man with common sense and some balls asks himself the same question. What if they try?
Yeah.
How far are you willing to go?
Far enough.
And good men are willing to go
Yeah.
far.
I will go far.
Yeah, because
I know that'll be the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
If you let it go,
the
it's
end.
going to that's the first thing that every horrible dictator, mass murderer, like person on one side of the side that's committing genocide, Hitler, everybody, they disarm the citizens first. Always.
Yep.
The minute they disarm you, it's in the bag.
You can't fight back.
Yeah. But there's enough guns in America
Oh yeah.
to like arm. There's like I think there's like 3 or 4 guns per person in
There's enough
America.
guns to arm our entire
Yeah,
nation's
they
army,
know that.
military.
That's the only thing. See,
Hallelujah.
everybody in other countries they try to be like, oh, American, your guns and this and that. But it's like that's all that's keeping us free.
Mm-hmm.
It's the line that's drawn in between people that are willing to just eradicate you and and do whatever they want in power, and here's us, and that's the line, and they haven't been able to cross it. It's so important. The Second Amendment's the most important.
Yeah,
It's the only thing keeping them at bay.
it truly is.
Why it was actually written.
Yeah, yeah,
I
because a
love
bunch of
I
men
love
had to go through all of
yeah.
that.
I love when the Democrats are always like, "Well, you don't need an AK-47 to hunt." You're like, "It's not to hunt. It's to hunt you when you come try to tread on me."
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I love it. We can dedicate a whole episode to that.
Yeah.
And we've been getting really deep into it. But I do want to ask you a question. And this
Yes,
is
sir.
a question that I ask all the people who I interviewed to my podcast and whose opinion I value and respect. And this is I think I don't know if I ask
I
you.
will go on a date with you.
Hey, listen, man. We've been to those already. One time on the Catalina Island with a bottle of scotch and cigars, right on top of the mountain. No, the question is simple. The question is a two-part question. What is a true purpose of life, and how can one find their purpose? Because I know you're a very purposeful man, an intentional man.
I think the meaning of life is, I would say, to live every day like it's could be your last. So live it to the fullest. Don't wait if you're trying to accomplish something, you're trying to start a business, you're trying to go on some trip, don't wait. It's like they always say, you should live your life like you're not going to come home from work today. Like live your life to the fullest. Don't If you're trying to get in shape, don't don't wait for a New Year's resolution. Start tomorrow. Start today. Start today. Whatever. Just be done with it. Go. What? That's to me the meaning of life. Live life to the fullest. Be the best person you can be to everyone around you. And what was the other question? How to obtain it?
Yeah, how to find purpose.
How to find purpose? I mean, I would think it ties into the meaning of life. Just find purpose and set your goals really high. Because if you set your goals all the way to the moon, but you get to orbit, it's still a huge accomplishment.
It's better to fall short of $1 million than fall short of 100,000.
Exactly. I always set my goals really stupidly high because even if I don't get to the goal, striving to get to the goal, striving to accomplish something, I end up learning 100 other things on the way, on the journey. So it's just always push yourself. Stay motivated.
Stay hungry.
Yes, sir.
I love that. Well, here we go, guys. You had it. Live life every day like it's your last day, and always aim high. It's better to fall short of $1 million than to fall short of 100,000, right? Set your
Yes, sir.
limitations and your dreams really, really high. I love it.
100%.
I love that. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
That's good advice. That's good advice. It's always good to hear from somebody whose opinion you value, that your thoughts and opinions are aligned.
Well, thank you. I value your opinion greatly, so
Thank you.
it's good you had the the same view, different wording.
Different wording. Yeah. No, appreciate that. And for you guys who are watching, I hope you guys found value in this episode. Today it was just straight me catching up with my good friend, and I always get value when I talk to you. So I hope you guys got the value out of what we talked about. And if you find any value, please click like, share, and subscribe. Send it to those who you believe might need to hear this. Send it to the man who you believe might hear it. And yeah, thank you for being part of our journey.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for being here, brother.
Hopefully they dealt with all my run-on sentences and stories that just lead into other stories.
Hey, I enjoyed them. And at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I'm enjoying this. And I'm doing this because I really like it. And it allows me to be me and allows my guests, you, to be you. So if they don't like it, they can go kick rocks. If they like it, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thanks, brother. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you.